Well, good morning. It's a beautiful April day here in the great state of Maine. We're heading out on the Lower Narrows Pond here in Winthrop. About a half an hour drive from home, and finally getting out. Super excited about it. Just recently bought a solo canoe back in December, and it's getting its first water usage for the year. Gonna have a mess with the seat for a second. Having a little playtime with it. See if it's what all the hype is about. I think it's definitely gonna be a pretty cool little season. We're gonna take it down some rivers, streams. Me and a buddy of mine have got a wow, it's just pretty. Bunch of couple of rock faces over here. No, but me and a buddy of mine have got a trip planned for end of May, heading up to the Megalloway River in western Maine, out past Upton, New Hampshire. Actually starts in Maine, goes through New Hampshire, and comes back into Maine. But you take out in New Hampshire at the end of it. It's about a 14 or so mile trip. And I will say it is a bit chilly out here. It's nothing too bad. It's just super calm water. Yeah, and like I said, it was a bit chilly this morning, and you can see my dad right there. Sorry for the bottom right hand corner. I was still trying to figure out the phone holder, but got our sweatshirts on and hats and gloves, and we're ready to go for the season. But like I said, recently got a solo canoe from Old Town. It's an Old Town Sportsman, and man, it floats like a dream. This is unbelievably just super. I mean, it's calm water as it is right now, but it's going straight. The last fishing kayak I had, it was a Lifetime P-Pond, and that thing, I couldn't get that thing to go straight for the life of me. I'd paddle right and it'd go right. But look at me, a beautiful morning. I'm gonna set up a little bit of a time lapse here. Got a cool little thing here. It's a artificial loon's nest. I don't know if there's anything in there, but Maine Inland Fishery and Wildlife takes real good care of the loons around here. And yeah, I think we'll just leave that alone and get back to paddling. Officially getting around the long end of it. Done about a mile or so. Seeing some pretty wildlife. Couple of teal duck. You see them go by right there. And yeah, there's a lot of houses on this portion of the pond, but yeah, I think they're mostly summer houses. It's definitely a pretty morning. It's gotten a little bit warmer, 37, 38 degrees or so. So not too bad. It's definitely got the gloves on. I say that I need to put my other glove on. A lot of ducks flying north right now as they're coming back from vacationing in the Florida tropics and South Carolina and all the southern climates where it stays about 70, 75, 80 degrees or so. And seen a lot of Canadian geese on the road as we've been traveling, but first time out with a new solo canoe, and I gotta say I'm quite impressed with it. It glides through the water like hot knife and butter. It's also absolutely beautiful out here. It's just so calm. There's barely anything of a breeze. But like I said earlier in the video, we're gonna get out and do some rivers and streams. Me and my buddy Mike are gonna be heading out to the Megalloway River out in western Maine. And that should be pretty fun. I definitely think it's gonna be a fun little trip that we take. It'll be the first one that Mikey goes on, and my paddle, my paracord paddle just came apart, so we'll have to fix that. Yeah, figure out how I can probably just take it apart and fix it later. Huh? No doubt. Oops. I was trying to make it look cool and it didn't work. Yeah, there's quite a few of these ice melt little mini waterfalls as we went around the lake more and more. Getting a good shot of Dad right there. Wanted to come and join me this morning. I was going to go out by myself, but you can't, take any chances for granted. Dad last year actually had a spinal stroke, and the first thing he wanted to do when he got out of the hospital was go kayaking. And we had to kind of limit him on what he could and couldn't do, seeing how it was, his spine. And it takes a lot of upper body and your back to do some paddling like this. And, a year and a half or so after it, we're out on the water in the first week of April. So we'll knock that off for sure. Oh, say hi, Dad. Hello, everybody. The sun has made an appearance. Kind of covered by the trees, and I'm closer to the land, but it's a beautiful, beautiful loon right there. Where'd he go? Oh, he just ducked under the water. Feel a little bit of stage fright, video fright. But yeah, it's definitely beautiful out here. I commented on one of Camping with Sam Banana's videos the other day, and I told him, I was like, man, you got to come up to Maine sometime, because he does a lot of Michigan trips, and I told him, I was like, man, you got to come out to Maine, you got to. Some of these local places, like these ponds here, they've got some pretty big brook trout, brown trout in here, and you can't ask for anything better than a sunny day in April, especially seeing how we had a little bit of a snow shower before we came out today, and the sun's gonna melt it, and we'll be good to go for the summer. A lot of our summer trips this summer are gonna be in the Maine northern zone. That definitely different fishing regulations up in the north zone. And I think we have our first piece of trash there in the corner. We're gonna go check out what it is. I've got a duck. I've got him by the throat. Well, I've been able to take the gloves off, but man, my hands are cold now messing with that duck. I'm gonna put the gloves back on. The water's about, I don't know, 33 degrees or so. It's pretty chilly. Again, it's still April, and I think we've had 2 50-degree days in the last 2 weeks. I know it's supposed to be 50 on Friday, but only reason why it's going to be 50 on Friday is we're getting rain. I might go out in the morning and see what's in store for Friday, but should be fun. I'm super excited to have this new asset. I actually sold my fishing kayak. I bought this back in December. This is the first time I've gotten it out since we've been waiting on ice out. And yeah, first time I've gotten it out. I'm impressed. This thing is super duper. You know, it handles like a dream. And actually, as a matter of fact, I think there's more ice over here. There is still ice over here. Huh. No doubt. That tells you how cold it is. Yeah, there's still ice. Hold on, we're gonna get a crunch test. You might be able to hear it, but there is some humming. Like I think an excavator or something in the background. We're gonna test it. We're gonna run it. Because we're gonna find out if we're gonna sink like the Titanic. Yeah, it's about 4 inches. 4 inches or so. Yeah. Giant. It's about 3 inches. Yeah, it's flipping over a piece of ice. It is. I'm not gonna lie. The water is still pretty darn cold, and that entire cove over there is nothing but it. So I think we're gonna spin around and start heading the opposite direction on the lake and make that giant loop as well. Yeah, don't mind the water in my beard that I did not know was there for at least an hour. It's a pretty big pond. You look at it on a map, it looks small, and that's mainly because me personally, we're used to Cavacy Lake, which is humongous. It goes from Winthrop all the way to Monmouth, Litchfield area. Yeah, Winthrop to Monmouth, Litchfield area, and this is pretty big. I've seen a couple of loons, which is awesome. Saw the Maine Inland Fisheries. I guess you would call it a DIY loon nest. It's a protective nest for the loons, and it's just so pretty, so calm out here. And yeah, we've been on the water for about an hour and a half or so. Not too bad. It's a good paddle. Getting the first workout of the year. And it's the best thing about this canoe is I don't have to paddle that often because it glides through the water. All I'm doing is doing 4 strokes, and I'm going. It's so fun. I'd say this is probably one of the best purchases I've made in a long time, other than getting the other fishing kayak. But at that point, I didn't really do. I think I put it in the water maybe 7 times in the 2 years that I had it, and yep. So that actually went to his dad bought it. It was a younger kid that wanted it, and they coming up from the Sebago Lake area. I met him in Freeport. Went down to Cabela's after and bought a phone holder and a couple of other things, and you know, that wasn't entirely my intention to start this, but I'm happy with what I'm doing. It's definitely different to start a YouTube channel or anything like that, but I'm gonna make a Facebook page and Instagram and everything for it. It's gonna be the same handle, the Maine Pyro Paddle. And if you couldn't tell, I'm not affiliated with the brand, but I work for Central Maine Pyrotechnics. Oh, nah, just a rock. Just a rock, I think. Yeah, just a rock. All right. I got in a little too shallow with the treble hook. Treble hooks do not like rocks. So we'll swing back around and take care of it real quick. But as I was saying, you know, that was really weird. I have no idea what that was. We'll figure this out. Come on. Get off that rock. Most of this pond is undeveloped, but this is Lower Narrows. Upper Narrows is kind of the pond that's got most of the boats and houses on it, boat houses and all of that. And yeah, so get service here every once in a while, but it's not really, I wouldn't even, not even close to off the grid. You're only about, I don't know, 10 miles or so from Augusta. We've done right about 2.25 miles. I got the paddle tracker app on my phone. I can connect right to my watch, so I'm able to record what we do and how far we go and all that fun stuff. So it won't always be a paddling page, as I shoot professional fireworks. So there'll be a couple of videos here and there where it'll be a behind the scenes of setting up a display and shooting it. And I know I've got one so far in Stratford, New Hampshire, out on Bow Lake. And I might actually pack up my canoe and bring that one with me. Dad's pushing through the ice. He got stuck. Oh man. Let me go help him. I'm gonna pile right through him. Hold on. Hold on. The icebreaker's coming. Oh, big chunk. That was a big chunk. Yeah.
I was like, oh no! I didn't cut it. And it'll be okay.
What is it?
I said I don't want it to be in the water. It doesn't need to be. It's just floating. It's like a green floating donut.
Huh. Yeah. Well, that's one thing we will do when we go on our paddles is if we find any kind of litter in the water or at the homemade camps or anything like that, or the tent sites and stuff, because we are going to do some paddle camping this summer at some point. Me and Mikey, for the first trip that we're going on for the Megalloway River, is we're going to do, it should be like a 3-day 3-day trip or so is what I'm thinking, and we'll stay the night and paddle the next day and stay another night in a different spot. And when we do go and do those trips, and we see, litter or plastic or anything like that in the water, we'll definitely pick it up and take it with us to the next trash can we can get. Because, you got to be the bigger person sometimes and take care of the water and the fisheries that these fish thrive in. And you got to take care of the fisheries, because if you don't, there won't be any fish to take anymore. That's the only downside to piss poor people who don't take care of themselves and don't follow the number one rule of camping or any kind of thing is take in, take out. You got to follow that. If you don't follow that, leave it how you found it. Like right there, there's a beer can in the lake, and I can't get to it because it's 6 feet deep here, and it's about 30 degrees. But if we find it on land and find it, floating in the water, we're gonna take care of it and throw it away, because that's the best thing about Maine. It's 99% nature, 1% city. Other than Portland and Bangor, obviously, but yeah. So gotta take care of our rivers and streams and our lakes and our ponds, because if we don't, there won't be any more recreating for us. Again?
My legs are shaking from that ice. I got stuck.
Yeah.
On top of it was.
Well, I actually slid right across it until I sunk into it. Once my body weight hit the ice, it actually sunk in. But I glided across the top of it first. But well, hey, we'll help take the ice out, because the more it breaks up, the more it'll melt. There was a good sized chunk back there that was probably 6-7 inches thick still. But again, it's only April, so it's an early paddle as it is, and you're gonna find that ice no matter what.
We have about 7 months of open water paddling.
Yeah, right around. Yeah.
Now that we started this early.
September. Well, actually,
about 30 weeks we can go.
October. We'll probably put the boats away around October.
That's what I'm thinking. End of October.
End of October, maybe November, because the past couple years here in Maine, it really hasn't snowed until freaking January.
This moon likes to have in the water. We think we've seen more than one, but
yeah, he's
looks to be the only loon out there.
He's just a chilling. Let me try the old call. He doesn't want to talk. It's okay. You actually get to hear more of them as we get farther into the summer. But he went under. I swear he's getting camera shy. Every time I grab the camera, he doesn't want to be recorded. I guess I got to ask for consent or something. As we get going more on this channel, I think I'm going to go ahead and get a GoPro and maybe a smaller recording camera. That way we can get some different shots and whatnot, but do mostly time lapse for the first couple of videos. And ooh, what is that? I hear some water running. That is the world's smallest. What summer camp is this? I don't know. It's got to be a summer camp of some kind, because there's actually a walkway right here. A little walkway right there, right in there. But there's a whole bunch of like benches up in there with a fire pit. So definitely be a fun summer. I think I'm gonna go try a newer stream. I think next week or so. Go. It's called 7 Mile Brook, and that's in Vassalboro, Maine, which is about 6 miles or so north of Augusta. and starts out at Weber Pond and actually ends in the Kennebec River. But I'm gonna take out right before the Kennebec because it looks to be on Google Earth is some falls right at the end of the brook, and I don't know if I want to test the waters just yet. It'd be one thing if it was 90 degrees out and the water being 75. But yeah, it's definitely cold. It's definitely cold out right now. It's pretty cool. Definitely some, if you go and paddle the Northeast and do any kind of paddling in the state of Maine, you're gonna find a whole bunch of camps that are either old or were built by the Maine Cabin Masters. Okay, so we didn't even notice that earlier when we were going by. Seeing all the cabins there, right on the water, which is absolutely pretty. Yeah, it's funny. We launched from over here and went right by here looking. We weren't even looking right at the time. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of cabins right here that this is either a dilapidated camp or it's an active one, but they've got canoes and everything. So I don't know if they happen to board up the windows during the winter season before they open, or what? Yeah. So after some research, we actually found out that this is Camp Mechawana, which is a United Methodist camp that's been open for over 75 years. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. That's pretty darn cool. Maybe. Yep. Yeah. So that actually, I think that used to have a cabin around it. Yep, so it looks like that. There's caution tape all over the. Woo! You could definitely. I'm sure you could hear that on that end. I think we might be near its nest. So let's kind of keep paddling. That sounded like a security hoot. that loon did not sound happy. Yeah, it's the first time we've actually heard a loon so far today. And I think it has to do with the fact I think we were close to its nest and it did not like that. So we're gonna move on. We'll gonna make our way back to the launch and we're gonna get out of here. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. That's the Maine Pyro Paddle. See ya.